I know it seems like pocket notebooks and going analog seem to be like a trend, a fashion right now, but genuinely I believe pocket notebooks should be able to print money for you. Field Notes just recently released these limited edition, I guess, field notes to commemorate the fact that the penny is dying in the United States. They're cool, they're all right. What got me though was the fact that it had this ledger system in here. It's basically just a ruled notebook with 2 lines down the side. So if you want to do sort of the double bookkeeping accounting thing, you can. So no matter where you're at on your journaling, your pocket notebook journey, whatever it is, here are 5 ways that I make money or at least saved money by using my pocket notebook. Now, first up is what I call side hustle accounting. When I first started this YouTube channel back in 2020, I didn't make any money until 2021. This was like the quarterlies of what I did on this little side hustle back 5 years ago almost now. I made $436.63 from YouTube AdSense. I did a couple gigs that I actually got because I had a YouTube channel. That was pretty cool. But especially if you're just starting a business, starting like a side hustle, and you want to keep track of like just those little wins. This isn't going to be like my full like QuickBooks accounting type thing, but it is one of those things that allows me to look back and go, okay, yeah, hey, I made some money last quarter. What can I do to make more? How can I do more of the work that I like doing? Because maybe some of this work is work that I actually don't like doing. So is there something else I could do to bring in more money? A big thing that was missing here from Q4 2021 was I hadn't quite figured out the affiliate game yet. When you guys help support the channel through any affiliates, that was one of the huge game changers that allowed me to go full-time here on YouTube. Keeping track of it in a little pocket notebook and just keeping track of expenses, keeping track of where my income is coming from in a little notebook like this allows me to just sit with the data more, allows me to sit with my business in a way that doesn't require me to have to look at a screen. It makes it kind of fun too. I'm not a big fan of doing the accounting stuff. It's like tax season right now here in the US, and especially now with like all the different affiliate programs and brand deals, obviously AdSense and other work that I do to help other creators or other brands create content for their channels, their platforms. Like, I can't keep track of everything like this, but when I was just starting out, there was just something so encouraging, so fun of like writing down like, yes, the internet printed money for me. And you know what? I just remember getting that first like AdSense check where I made like $100 or something, and it was awesome. It still is awesome. Number 2 on this list is a subscription audit. If you are like me and you spend any time on the internet, you may end up with a lot of subscriptions or just a lot of monthly fees, a lot of annual fees. Now, I still have like programmatic software to like categorize all this stuff, but if I'm not looking at it, if I'm not thinking about it, it still kind of doesn't really, I don't know, it just doesn't hit me the same way. Whereas if I like sit here with like the ledger open and I write down every single monthly subscription, I write down how much I'm paying for internet, my phone bill. I already see things here that I know I'm going to probably cancel next month, different services I need to have reduced. The other thing here is I really started trying to support more creators. I have Craig Mod's annual subscription, annual membership here that I'm a part of. I put my car registration here because it feels like I have to pay a subscription just to use roads, which is effectively what car registration is basically. Thank God though I live in Idaho. My car registration used to be like $900 in California, and it's like $200 here in the great state of Idaho. And our roads are better, and they fix our roads faster, and somehow we have worse weather. I don't get it. But this can be a really cool way to also budget. Like, I want to support more creators, more people who are doing stuff online, more individuals. I want to be giving less money to big companies and more money to creators and individuals, especially like Craig Mod. I support Robin Walden. I pay for his membership over there. A few other friends on Substack. I know a lot of you guys support me on Substack as well. That's so helpful and so encouraging. So you can take this in 2 different ways. You can use this as an audit to spend less money, and you can also use it as a way to put your money where it's actually going to support individuals making the things that you want people to make. And this is not even everything. I like started filling this out and I realized I need to spend a little bit more time on this spread than this video was going to allow me to do, but there's more. Hauntingly, there's more. On to the next, number 3. I've talked about this in other videos, but I keep a want and have list, usually in my notes that just kind of syncs everywhere. But lately I've been doing an analog spread and just offloading, because like in my Apple Notes, I'm looking at it right now actually, I have over like 400 things in my want and like another a couple hundred things in my have. And just feels like a little bit too big. Like I don't often like scroll through there or scroll through any of that stuff. I like just keeping a spread of these things for like the year or maybe even the quarter, especially if it's something for like work related stuff. So like I do need a new desk chair. I'm like still using the same old desk chair that I've had for about 12 years now. I really like these Fern desk chairs. I might go that way. I've also been just seeing a bunch of people sit on the floor, and that's like a whole trend that has me like questioning, should I just sit on, should I build like a whole desk work setup to do that? I don't know. I'm not there yet. Leave a comment down below if I should invest more in my desk setup or if I should just sit on the floor. I don't know. I need some new sweatpants, but won't need those until the fall. But of course, like I need to buy them in summer if I want them to be here by fall, because they'll sell out before then, right? That's the like classic problem of being just like an average size male. This is kind of nice because if I come across something that I do want, I'll put it here. And then usually like if my dad or my wife or someone asks me like, hey, you know, I want to get you something for like your birthday or Christmas, whatever. It's nice to just have a few things where you'd be like, hey, if you got this for me, it would be really special if you got this for me. Wanted it for months or maybe years. It's nice to just kind of have some of those at the top of the list. And I've started keeping track, and I won't show it here particularly because I don't want to give away the gifts that I'm giving to other people, but I have a few friends where I will write down just little gifts that I want to give them, and that actually helps me budget for those gifts, helps me, you know, be thoughtful and kind in my relationships with my friends and my family. And same thing for have. I find that having both of these spreads next to each other is really beneficial, because there would be times where like, oh, I'm tempted to maybe do an impulse purchase and I'll put that thing on my want list. And then if I spend a little bit of time with my have list, I often find like that gratitude of like, okay, what do you actually have? You know, ends up diffusing sort of the impulse to just buy something for the sake of buying something. My wife got me these Origin Chelsea boots for Christmas about 4 months ago now, and they've become my absolute favorite boots. My dad got me this watch, this Hamilton watch I've wanted for about 18 years. It's this one right here, khaki field auto. Nothing really super fancy or special about it. Great movement. It's like a mid-range price watch. I know for like normal watch people, it's like, it's my go-to if I'm at home. If I'm out and about, yeah, I have like my RZE, my Vair watches. I love those watches for just beating them up and they'll take a punishment. But if I'm in the studio, if I'm at the desk, or if I'm like going to mass or something, a wedding, you know, whatever it is, and I want to dress it up a bit, the Hamilton is now my go-to for pretty much all that stuff. And then, yeah, I put this buck knife in here that my buddy Jesse over at Buck got me. If you guys didn't see my EDC video where I talked about that knife, I mean, this knife is I still have it on me. So grateful for it. I use this thing every day. It's attached to my hip every day. But sometimes if I just don't write it in my notebook, I'm just not as grateful for it. Okay, number 4 on this list is to analog travel budget. I remember I had some friends out of high school who went to Europe and spent way too much money in Europe, and were definitely saddled after that. I did not do such travels, but every time I travel, I need a budget. If I don't have a budget, even before I begin that journey, if I don't budget, I'll be screwed. So this is actually for an upcoming trip that I have in about a month. Really excited about this. Just noting down some little travel things that I've already purchased for that trip. Some of the tickets that were required for that. I'm really excited for this trip. I won't say too much about it because I'm gonna make a whole video on it, I think. I also just found by travel budgeting, both like in the lead up to a trip, but also like carrying around the little pocket notebook with you when you're on the little travel trip, doing whatever you're doing. That for me is like the difference between me hating myself after I come home because I've just, you know, I haven't been paying attention to where I've been spending money, versus like if I have the pocket notebook with me and I'm just logging all my expenses, even just at the end of the day, I kind of know what I've spent. It helps me not go over my budget. And then when I come home, I feel very happy about that trip rather than hating myself. Last on this list is I was talking with Mark Ragland, who might just be Matt Ragland, or they may be related. I'm not sure, but we were chatting over on Substack about this. It actually doesn't matter how much money you have if you aren't able to live the life that you want to live. One of the things that Mark brought up was, just doing an analog screen screen time tracker and having like an analog screen tracker for the month. I kind of flipped that on its head, and I wanted to keep track more of like sort of the outside adventure stuff that I do with my kids, and like how many hours am I spending outside. We still live a fairly outdoor life. We live in a more rural part than I guess we definitely used to when we used to live in San Francisco. But just like noting down the date, what the little adventure was and how many hours we spent outside. I'm really interested to see like how many of these like bigger adventures, because yeah, we go play outside in the backyard or whatever, but some of these little things that we've done now that are a little bit more of an adventure, a little bit more of just like that richness of life. I'm excited to look at this, add this up, look back at these, have like a year's worth of these little adventures. And then when I'm going, oh yeah, hey, what do I want to do with my kids, or what do we want to do as a family? We can go, oh yeah, let's go do a walk around the docks. Let's go, play with some bubbles with our neighbors, our friends. It is wild to me how much time we can spend in the same way that like I feel like you could spend hours just scrolling on your phone, not stoked on life. If you get outside, especially with kids, for everyone who has kids, right? Like the hours can just fly by when you're having fun with your kids. This month already is amazing. Like that's 10 more hours outside playing, doing something fun than we normally would have done. So that's pretty cool. And I'm really excited to see how this fills out now over the rest of the year. And see what some of our like favorite outdoor things are to do to just spend more time outside. I think I'm gonna buy a bike. That's a whole other thing. Let me know down in the comments below, how do you use pocket notebooks to make more money, print money, at least save money? Oh, and if you made it this far in the video and you do like field notes, leave a comment or leave something in your comment down below about what your favorite edition of the field notes notebooks are. I'm still such a huge fan of the National Parks edition, but I really do like these lucky limited edition notebooks. These are one of those ones that I wish that they would keep around, but I know they're limited edition, so fair enough. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. If you haven't yet, please do so. It really does help me out, and be kind, both in life and in the comments below. Like this video to send good vibes across the internet. We'll do it again soon. Later.